Welcome to Kingdom's Voice, 1 Corinthians 12, 7-11. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to each one for the profit of all. 8 For to one is given the word of wisdom through the Spirit, to another the word of knowledge through the same Spirit, 9 To another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healings by the same Spirit, 10 To another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another different kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. 11 But one and the same Spirit works all these things, distributing to each one individually as he wills. Objective: understand the different categories of spiritual gifts, their usefulness in the church, and precautions to take in order for them to be exercised according to the will of God. They mainly allow to see and understand through the Spirit. Categories: gifts of revelation, word of wisdom, word of revelation, discerning of spirits. Through them, God enlightens, reveals, and helps the natural man discern what he couldn't otherwise. Gifts of power, faith, healings, miracles. God intervenes with power in impossible human circumstances, in bodies, etc. Mainly acts by the power of God. Gifts of inspiration, prophecy, diversity of tongues, interpretation of tongues. Their common purpose is to edify the church, be for the profit of all, glorify Jesus Christ, and lead believers to the truth. What are the similarities? The three categories are Spirit-led and distributed by God as He wills. They aim at the common good, the edifying of the church, and the glorifying of Jesus Christ. No gift is given for man's self-aggrandizement, to create a spiritual hierarchy or show off. The hallmark of all these gifts must be love, order, and edifying. Differences: gifts of revelation allow to see and discern. The gifts of power manifest God's power, and gifts of inspiration allow to speak, led by the Spirit. Complementarity: these gifts are not opposed, but are rather complementary in the service. A revelation can lead to an act of power, a miracle can be performed along with a word of revelation, and a prophecy can come to confirm a guidance already given by God. The reality of the invisible world. Discern the source of the inspiration. Gifts of inspiration come from the invisible world. Since the fall of man, there have been two influences in the world: God's, that edifies, leads to the truth, and glorifies Jesus Christ, and the devil's, that deceives, tries to thwart salvation, and sows confusion. It is therefore of the essence to test any inspiration. Key takeaways: distinguish between inspiration and emotion. Jeremiah 17:9. Beware of counterfeits. 2 Corinthians 11:14. Test the origin of the inspiration. 1 John 4:1. Cling to the word. 2 Timothy 3:16-17. Conclusion: spiritual gifts are indeed a precious gift from God to the church, but must be submitted to God, rooted in truth and love. A mature church does not despise them, nor is naive about them, but tests them to edify the church and glorify Jesus Christ. Amen. You can join us our social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, to listen to more content. We also have a radio station called Heaven's Antenna Radio that you can download on the App Store or Play Store. Stay blessed and see you next time, God willing.